Good morning. There we go. I'm not here alone. Great, good. I want to welcome you to Daemen College. For some of you, for the first time. For many of you, for the second, third. I think I spoke to someone who was here for the fourth time. We love that you're coming back. We love that you're here today with us. This is a day to recognize you as students, the work you've done throughout the last 4 years as you worked hard and studied for finals, AP exam, Regents exams. It was all worth it. You're here now, and you've made it. So for many of you, this is the place you already know you want to be. You're saying, okay, I've selected Daemen College. This is my college choice. And some of you are still kicking our tires. So we have work to do today. So while you're here today, make sure you still ask all the questions you have in regards to your program, in regards to taking a tour, looking at our facilities. We've done all these things in preparation to make sure that you have the experience you need in your academic endeavors. But with no further ado, I'm going to have our president, Dr. Gary Olson, come. Dr. Gary Olson has been our president for 7 years, and he has worked tirelessly for almost 30 years in higher education at large and small institutions. But the impact that he's had here has been wonderful. The impact inside the classroom, inside our facilities, and even outside in our grounds, with making sure that we had 100 tree planting, making sure that people know Daemen as a household name, getting out in the community, not just in Amherst, not just in Buffalo, but across the country. So with no further ado, our president, Dr. Gary Olson.
Good morning, everyone. Now, you're Wildcats now, and we have what we call the Wildcat welcome. So let's try that again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right. In fact, our Wildcats men's basketball team went to the playoffs this year. Almost got it. This year we'll get it. Anyway, welcome to the Dean's Breakfast. We're here really to celebrate our highest achieving students. The students here are among the best of the students anywhere. So you should be very proud of yourself. Now, throughout the years, you're going to hear me say something similar to this again and again, even at graduation 4 years from now. But I'll say it now as a start. You know, you worked really hard to get where you are, and you deserve most of the credit. But you didn't get here alone. You had lots of support. So I would like to ask your parents and friends to stand for a minute, and let's thank them for all they've done to make you among the best students in not just Daemen, but in the whole area. So parents, if you would stand, let's congratulate them, thank them for all they've done to get you where you are today. Anyway, when I say that you're among the best, you are certainly among the best because you are the students who have gotten scholarships already. There are different levels of scholarships, of course, but I didn't get much scholarship when I went to school, so you're in a different league from me, but I think you're going to go on and do great things. Now, some of you might have heard me before, so I apologize if I repeat myself, but as you have just heard, I've been in higher education for quite a few decades. Frank said 30, it's actually 39 years, so I guess that's almost 40. And having been at many, many different colleges and universities, I can sincerely say that Daemen is really very unique. And it's unique because in all of my experience, I've never seen a college where when you come here, you feel like you're part of a family. It's very easy in a lot of colleges, especially universities, regardless of whether it's big or small, to feel like you're just a number in a bureaucracy. It's just kind of the way institutions are anyway, not just in higher education, but in other places. But there's something special about Daemen. People seem to all know one another, they call each other by name, they care about people, and I think it makes a difference. It makes a difference because it's hard enough to leave home and go off to college. It's a scary time, and I recognize that. A lot of you may be really good scholars, but some of you are kind of scared about what's to come. It's much harder to deal with that when you're feeling a number in a bureaucracy. It's a lot easier to deal with it when you feel like you're part of another kind of extended family and you know people care about you. So what I'm saying is, we want you to succeed. We want you to go all the way, not only and get your degree, but then to go on and do all kinds of great things. Win the Nobel Prize, win the Pulitzer Prize, whatever it is you're going to do. We want you to succeed. And so we're there to make sure this happens. We have quite a staff of people to make sure that happens. So for example, when you get to be a student here, if you're struggling with academics, you don't want to be one of those people that just throws up their hands and says, well, I'm going home, this is not for me. No. We've got all kinds, we call them coaches, tutors, all kinds of coaches to help you get through whatever block might be there, writing, math, whatever, so that you can then go on really and be successful. Or if you're just feeling lonely and just having trouble adjusting to being away, we've got all kinds of counselors on staff that you can come and talk to so that you don't have to feel that you're alone in these feelings. We have a whole number of different other kinds of support people that are here specifically, day in and day out, to make sure that you're successful. And that's only part of the family. I mean, the faculty, the staff, and your other student peers are also part of the family. So in my other colleges, most of the universities, it was unheard of that undergraduate students would do research, actual research, with their faculty members. That was reserved for graduate students, doctoral students. The undergraduate students were left to go to class and that's it. Here, a lot of our students are going out with faculty to site visits, to whatever it is their discipline is. So a lot in healthcare, and they're actually helping to do actual real research out in the real world with faculty. Not in the doctoral program, in the undergraduate program. So that's very special, and of course they're very much part of that family. So your faculty, professors, your staff people, and your peers are all part of that family that want to help to make you the success that I know you're going to become. So that is why I think Daemen is different. I've not seen that anywhere before, and I'm not just kidding you. I've never seen that. I went to a school pretty much the same size and type as Daemen. In fact, I won't name it, but it's not too far away. Next state over. And I didn't have that same feeling of being part of the family. It was a good enough place, and I'm glad I went there. But when I compare that, the experience I had with the experience I see here, and I keep hearing from, because I do talk to lots of students, I'm just amazed at the difference. So I know probably 3/4 of you have already committed to coming and to attending and have put down deposits. So I welcome you to the Daemen family. I'm sure you'll be happy about that, even while you're graduating. For those still thinking about it, I understand that. I hope you do give everybody else, every other college, a good look. But remember what you get. You're entering a family when you come to Daemen, and I hope in the end of the day you decide, all things considered, we want to be part of the family. So welcome to the Daemen family. I hope you have a good breakfast. I hope you have a good time today, and I hope to see you over the next 4 or 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, President Olson. Next, I'm going to have before you the reason why we're all here. This is the Dean of the College breakfast. This is our celebration for you all. And who's going to be coming next is Dr. Michael Brogan. Dr. Michael Brogan has been here since 1985. So he's been here since 1985, but he served in many different roles since he's been here. He first was here as a student. He then was also the chair of the physical therapy department. He was also served as the College of Health and Human Services, and he's also been appointed to a very prestigious on the editorial board of a very prestigious magazine for wounds. Dr. Brogan has been a nationally and internationally recognized as a person working on wounds and wounds therapy, so much so that we actually have our own wound clinic here at Daemen College. And so we have a person amongst us that is here at Daemen, but he's definitely done research and writing that has brought him across the country and outside of the country. So with no further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Michael Brogan, our current Vice President of Academic Affairs and Dean of the college.
I'm going to have to make sure I pay Frank for that. So let me give you the definition of reality. Reality is when I look at the parents and I'm looking at my children, same age, same presence, and so on. So that's a definition of reality for me. It's a great honor and privilege to have you with us today. So Frank said a couple of things. I have been here quite a while. I was a student in physical therapy and then came back through faculty and so on. Have children that have moved into professional careers, and they've had children, and now those children are getting ready to start. Some of those, my grandchildren, are getting ready to prepare for college. So I've been through this a few times. And for the parents, this is an interesting experience if you've never been through it before. You know, having your son or daughter choose a university or a college. And that makes me think of the message that I started delivering 15 years ago when I was the chair of the physical therapy department, and it was as honest and from the heart as it could be. And it was simply this, that every college and university, if it's accredited by a regional accreditation agency, it's a good school. There are many, many excellent colleges and universities in this country, and you know that, and we're one of them. And what makes the difference, what I told my children and what I am telling my grandchildren, and I'll tell them as they really move closer into the decision time, is that the decision should truly be based on where will you be successful. So when you look at all the colleges and universities in the country, and there's over 3,000, close to 3,700 colleges and universities in the country, that's a big choice. But is it a large school or a small school, a public school, a private school? Is it a research institute or is it an educational institute? You know, is it the type of environment? Does it offer the program that you're interested in? And if it offers the program that you're interested in, that's certainly the beginning. But then I would hope that the decision that you make where you'll go will be based on where will you be most successful. Will it be at that large or small, public or private, teaching versus research? And you know, where can you fit in and really do well? And I'd like to think we're that place. We are small, we're an educational institute. There's a lot of services that are designed to really support your success. And I think we do a pretty good job at that. So hopefully, you know, when you make that decision, and I hope it is Daemen College, I hope it's based on not necessarily how big is the football team or how big is the stadium, what's the campus look like, but where will you be most successful, especially for undergraduate education, because that is a tough transition to move from a high school to a college environment and then all of a sudden be responsible for your success. So I hope it is Daemen College. I want to just mention, I think it was Brianna. Was it paralegal that we talked about? So here I bothered a few students and their parents and introduced myself and asked them where they're from and what program. And Brianna had said that she's interested in paralegal, and so it made me think of this. Paralegal is an excellent degree program here. Margaret Phillips is just terrific. And the program is concrete. The advisory board is essentially all the judges and esteemed firm members, in the area and so on. It's a great program. So a student could come to Daemen College and that could be the degree track. But here's another piece of this college. We have purposely designed curricula so they blend together. An example would be, if you were interested in being a paralegal, perhaps an attorney down the road, but paralegal is a great profession with an unlimited future by itself. if you chose to do that, wonderful. But another track would be that you could come here and you may be pursuing a bachelor's of science in biology, or you might be pursuing a degree in nursing, or a degree in PT, or a degree in PA, a degree in any area, English, philosophy, religion, math, or whatever. And while you're here moving through that curriculum, you could also meet the requirements for a certificate as a paralegal and assume the same responsibilities and the job opportunities that you would if you were a paralegal. But now what you've done is you've opened many doors in a particular area. So I'm sure there's some attorneys here, and they probably, well, I know there's one behind me, but there's a lot of opportunities for paralegal. There's certainly a lot of opportunities for attorneys and so on. But if you graduated and you had a degree in biology, in nursing, in PA, in PT, in English, in something, in math, in history, in political science, and you had that certificate in paralegal, well, now a firm would gobble you up because of your experience and your knowledge. It's not only broad, but it's very, very deep. So that's one example of looking at the curricula and how you could blend these things together. And we've designed something very unique at the college we call the Plus Pathways. And it's essentially blending two curricula together so that you come out that much stronger, broader, and deeper, and you can invent your own job. Here's an example. If you came here for PA, Physician Assistant Studies, and you followed a plus-up pathway, that plus-up pathway is a very, very well thought-out cluster of courses that will prepare you in different ways for physician assistant studies. For instance, there may be a course in that cluster that is bookkeeping, a course in that cluster that is accounting, a course in that cluster that is persuasion and negotiation, a course in that cluster that talks of the health models in the United States. So when you graduate as a physician assistant, but you'd have this background that will prepare you for private practice, if that's what you wish, or a management position, or something of that nature, which is very, very different than a minor. We have many minors. I think we have around 54 minors or so, and minors are terrific. Minors are a concentration of courses in one program, along with the concentration of courses in your major. So when you graduate, you have experience in one major, and a fair experience in another major. So you're all familiar with majors and minors. The Plus Up Pathway program is another alternative for you, where you can take these purposely developed plus pathways that will give you more when you graduate so that you can invent and create your own job. And this is what I tell students. When you graduate and you sit down with a potential employer, you'd like to say, I know you have perhaps hundreds of applications, and I'm grateful that you're considering mine. This is what makes me different than some of the other applicants that you have. And the employer will say, well, tell me about that. And you'd say, well, I graduated from an excellent college, Daemen College, and such, and that prepared me to do this job that you're interested in filling. But what makes me different is I've taken these courses while I was working toward my physician assistant degree, and those courses make me very different than, I believe, the other applicants. And I can tell you that type of interview is successful. And so we've really designed curricula to work together and to give you something more when you graduate than perhaps you would have had if you went somewhere else. So the Plus Pathway program we're real excited about. We're excited about these very purposeful linkages of curricula. An example that we're very, very proud of here, I'm proud of every program here. I'm proud of every program in our Arts and Sciences division. I'm proud of every program in our Health and Human Services division, because they've all worked together. Everything is interlinked, and we've purposely designed those courses. But let me give you another example. A couple years ago, the director of pathology at Roswell came to Daemen College and said, you folks have been extremely successful in building very good curricula and preparing students in these areas. And we'd like to work with you to develop a program in cytotechnology. So my response, well, tell me what cytotechnology is. Well, you know, a pathologist is that physician who looks at tissue and makes a diagnosis, human tissue that makes a diagnosis. So the pathologist has to be trained as a medical doctor to look at tissue and then make a diagnosis. Well, the cytotechnologist is the specialist who prepares the tissue, who readies the tissue for the pathologist to read. And if that isn't done with absolute precision, the diagnosis could be missed. So cytotechnology is a master's degree. What we did is we built a program with Roswell where a student comes to Daemen College for 4 years and essentially gets our degree in biology. But we've customized that biology degree so that they're introduced to cytotechnology and they get the preliminary courses in cytotechnology. And then at the end of 4 years, they graduate with a Bachelor's of Science from Daemen College, and then they go to Roswell for 1 year. And they work essentially full-time with the pathologist, with the cytotechnologist inside the facility, which is an incredible facility that we're lucky to have in this area. And you get that experience with the best. And it's a curriculum, and it's very, you know, I'd like to say sophisticated in the way it's designed and so on. But when the student finishes that year, they graduate with a Master's of Science in Cytotechnology from Daemen College in collaboration with Roswell. So it's a 4+1 program, 4 years here, 1 year at Roswell, purposely designed and very, very effective. In fact, it's now a national model, and this is truth. And I'm grateful for Frank inviting me. Usually people don't because I talk too long. But let me just share this with you. Last year I was at a very, very large conference in New Orleans. And I was there, it was for the chief academic officers of colleges and universities in the country. So you can imagine, the number of people who were at this conference. So I walked in, I had a name tag on, like, they ask you to wear, and it had my name, and it had Daemen College on there, because I was there for the college piece. So I get into this elevator, and there's 2 physicians in there, 2 MDs, and it says their name and their affiliation and their credentials. And I walked in, and usually I put my head down and I just go to wherever that elevator is going to take me. And one of the physicians said, "Are you from Daemen College?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, we're here with the National Society of Pathology, something of that nature, at our national conference, and we just heard an incredible presentation on your program. And I said, "You did?" And it was, yes, cytotechnology. And I could not believe it. But now our program, our design, our relationship with Roswell is leading to a national model. So the long and short of it is, Daemen is really a terrific place. Very, very flexible and nimble. We work hard to make this experience as efficient as we can for you and as successful as you can be. So, couple things. Think of where you're going to be successful. Where's the right environment for you? Choose the right program that's best for you, and then let us work with you so that you can be successful. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks, Frank. So now I have the opportunity to introduce a colleague of mine, Elizabeth Wright. I call her Liz Wright. Liz is an attorney. She's been at the college for many years now. She's the dean of the Health and Human Services Division. Liz would tell you much more than I have time now. But Liz was an attorney who represented families and students with disabilities and needs, which is really an issue out in the real world, and the finances associated of that. She was extremely talented and was really a recognized individual in that field. We asked if she would come and join us, and she did, and she's moved into a tenured faculty position and has since she was the dean of our education program, and then she's just recently, this year, assumed the position of dean of our Health and Human Services Division. She is an absolute cherished faculty member and colleague, and it's my privilege to introduce her, Elizabeth Wright.
know the truth. I'm the last speed bump before the buffet, so I'm going to keep it short. Thank you very much for those kind words, Mike. I appreciate it. I do have a few things to share with you today, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of both my division and also on behalf of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Shirley Peterson couldn't be with us today, but she asked me to convey her best regards to all of you. So when I was in Finland studying the Finnish education system, I learned a word that stuck with me, and that word is sisu. I have a visual for you. This is a Finnish word, S-I-S-U. Sisu is in fact a Finnish word that has no direct translation, but it refers to the idea of continuing to act even in the face of repeated failures and extreme odds. You can kind of picture that with Finland. I don't know if any of you know where Finland is on the map, but it's a very cold place and the people there are pretty determined. It's a way, sisu is a way of living life by displaying your perseverance even when you've reached the end of your mental and physical capacities. If you're a senior sitting here this morning, I guarantee that there have been moments in life when you could have chosen chosen not to continue on a path that would lead you here to Daemen College. Yet you are here. Some of your friends are not. Maybe the rest of your family never has been. But you're here, in this space with us. Let's think about why. Some people will tell you that it's your IQ or your socioeconomic status at birth. Many researchers don't agree. If we look at the work of Angela Duckworth and Daniel Pink, what they believe determines success is none of those things, but rather sisu. You showed grit and drive. You persevered when others partied. You kept going when you failed a test or experienced a loss, your parents split up, or a relationship ended. What makes Daemen College a special place is our commitment to work together with you, regardless of circumstance, life events, or barriers, so that you can move forward towards your educational goal. We will, in the difficult moments, note you by name and help you find your secret stash of sisu. At Daemen, regardless of the program you choose, we will provide the emotional, intellectual, and physical resources you need to support you in reaching your goal. And once you've reached your first goal, your degree, our Career Services Office remains available to you always as alumni. So as you pursue your educational goal at Daemen, I ask you to believe in yourself, believe in your capacity for fierce, raging sisu, and remember, Daemen College, together, forward. Thank you.
So, with no further ado, I'm going to introduce our student speaker for today. We're going to hear from our senior social work major, Emily Buzzard. Emily has done some amazing things since she's been here. And I'm sure her mom, who's here with her, is very proud of her, as we are as well. Emily she's also a recipient of the Trustee Scholarship. She's a member of the Honors Program. She's been on the Dean's List every semester since she started here at Daemen College. And she is one of our star students that will be staying with us on for the Master's in Social Work. And we're very proud to hear her speak once again. So with no further ado, let's have Emily Buzzard. Please join me in giving her a round of applause.
Just waiting for the PowerPoint. All right, quite the throwback. Good morning, everyone. My name is Emily Buzzard, and I'm a senior in the social work program here, and I have a minor in psychology. As I sat down to write this speech, I took some time to reflect on my years here at Daemen and the path that led me to where I am today. During this reflection, there were a lot of laughs, tears, and feelings of pride and accomplishment. Since 2014, I've been quite the busy bee. I am a member of the Social Work Alliance and held office as vice president. I'm currently the past president of the Honors Program. I'm a resident assistant in Canavan Hall, and I am a member of 2 collegiate honor societies, Psi Chi and Phi Alpha. In my first year, I was inducted into the Daemen College Honors Program. At first, I was a bit worried that it would be too much work on my plate, but I was gladly mistaken. By being in the honors program, I was given the opportunity to travel to Chicago and Seattle for 4 days and attend the National Collegiate Honors Conference in 2015 and 2016. Believe it or not, it was my first time on a plane. At these conferences, we were able to learn about how other colleges across the country ran their honors programs and found ways in which to better our program here at Daemen College. Through these conferences, I was able to work with Honors Program Director Dr. Matthew Ward and Vice President of Student Affairs Dr. Greg Nair on relocating the Dr. Peter A. Sedlecki Honors Lounge. Thanks to the hard work and support from Daemen, we now have an honors house that serves as both a lounge and a residential space for our members. Within this space, we are able to study, plan for our annual events, print for free, and have a space we can call our own. Some of the events that the honors program holds includes Balls for Bucks, Culture Night, Battle of the Brains, holiday parties, and each fall we participate in the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer in Buffalo. Being a member of the honors program has given me endless opportunities. I've been able to travel, build closer relationships with faculty, dive deeper into class topics that interest me, apply for scholarships, and improve my leadership skills. I can't wait to see how this program will continue to grow over time and impact the lives of students for years to come. One semester, I took a women's history class. I had a requirement that I needed to fulfill, and this class seemed to fit the bill. However, this class became more than just fulfilling a requirement. I went on a trip with my professor, Dr. Messinger, and a couple fellow students to Seneca Falls. We toured the town, went to the Women's Rights National Historical Park, and were able to see firsthand the groundwork that the women before us had laid so that we could have the rights that we have today. However, the fight for equality still continues. This trip inspired me to stand up for these inequalities and remember that all men and women are created equal and in turn should be treated as such. I was given the amazing opportunity to travel to the Dominican Republic for a 2-week service trip. I had the pleasure of traveling with 15 fellow students and one of my social work professors, Dr. Diane Bessel. During the first week, my friend and I stayed with Gertrudis, our wonderful host mother. When it was time for our first meal, we were both a bit nervous as to what would be placed in front of us. But, to our surprise, we looked down and found a full plate of spaghetti. We both looked over at our host mom, and she just chuckled and said she wanted to make us feel at home and ease us into her culture. Gertrudis opened up her home to us and shared with us her culture, language, and beauty of her country. I remember in the mornings, we'd wake up, she would have a hot breakfast waiting for us, and an episode of Jorge el Curioso, or Curious George, playing, because that was the only thing our Spanish skills could keep up with. Later, we traveled out of Santo Domingo and over to the small town of Lecheria. The people of Lecheria welcomed us with open arms and gave us a tour of their homes. As I walked through the town, I was in shock. It was one of those things that truly doesn't sink in until you see it. The houses were made of scrap metal and barely patched together. Large families were living in houses the size of a bathroom. The floors were dirt and the doors or blankets are non-existent. I felt guilty just knowing that I had a house to go home to and a water bottle in my hand full of clean drinking water. Due to these poor conditions, my peers and I alternated between holding educational groups and helping build bleachers for the community's basketball court. The group that I was a part of focused on teaching teenagers in the village about money management skills in hopes for a brighter future. We also had the opportunity to talk with them one-on-one and learn about their personal stories and struggles. During my studies, my classmates and I conducted research for Access of Western New York, a nonprofit organization that supports members of the Arab American community and people of other nationalities living in America. My group focused on examining the experiences of first and second generation Muslim immigrants in Lackawanna, New York, as it relates to their identity, use of resources, and the supports needed to foster their integration into society and quality of life. It was exciting to conduct live research for an organization and know that our efforts are going to help people in the community. After we collected our data, we presented our preliminary findings at Daemen's Academic Festival. We provided recommendations to improve programming, services, and supports based on the needs of each generation. Some of the recommendations included implementing Muslim-specific interventions for first-generation individuals and providing resources or workshops that help individuals learn how to balance multiple cultures. Now, in my senior year, I'm gaining experience in the field and applying what I have learned in the classroom to real-life situations. I had the honor of being selected to complete my fieldwork at the Erie County District Attorney's Office in the Victim Witness Bureau. When my supervisor saw that I was from Daemen, he told me that he already knew I was going to do a phenomenal job. Hearing this on your first day makes you feel pretty good. I felt like I was already one step ahead of the game. In my placement, I accompany victims to county, city, and criminal court and provide information, support, and guidance. I also explain the court process, act as a liaison between crime victims and the Office of Victim Services, and assist in the compilation, distribution, and submission of victim impact statements. I've also had the opportunity of working within multiple bureaus, including vehicular crimes, domestic violence, and special victims, where I have been able to sit in on forensic interviews at the Child Advocacy Center and work alongside Child Protective Services, attorneys, and Buffalo Police investigators. Within the process of providing these services, I'm able to practice and demonstrate my knowledge of the generous intervention model and other models that I've learned about in the classroom. Daemen gave me a strong foundation of knowledge and skills that prepared me for working out in the field. Everything that I learned was put to the test when my supervisor asked me to take on his workload while he was away. This was a major turning point in my field because it reflected the amount of trust and confidence that my supervisor had in me and my skills as a social worker. Working on these cases have brought me closer to the attorneys, advocates, and court officers, and has made me feel like I am a respected and valuable member of the District Attorney's Office. This experience has furthered my drive to pursue my master's degree in social work this upcoming fall at Daemen and enter into the Advanced Standing Graduate Program. I recently just had the opportunity to interview at 2 agencies in Buffalo for my graduate field placement. To my surprise, I was offered a position at both agencies with potential job offers if I do well at my time there. After going back and forth between the 2 agencies, I decided to sit down with the graduate field coordinator and talk about my options. Together, we discussed my future career goals and which agency would be the best fit. Now that I've made my decision, I can proudly say that I have accepted the position at Child and Family Services and will be working alongside their mental health counselors in the fall. Thank you. After graduate school, I plan to obtain my license and hope to fulfill my dream of becoming a child trauma or mental health therapist in Western New York. One last thing that I would like to share with you goes back to my first moments here at Daemen College. When I came to visit this campus and saw all of the opportunities that were possible here, I decided to make a Daemen College achievement list. The list that I created was a way to keep me motivated and accountable for my successes here. Some of the achievements I'm most proud of include being named one of Daemen's top 10 freshmen, making the dean's list, becoming a resident assistant, traveling abroad, appearing on a Daemen billboard and postcard, and speaking at a Daemen event, which I never thought I'd actually be doing, but here I am standing in front of all of you today. Reaching the achievements on my list has proved to me that Daemen makes things happen. No goal, no dream is too far out of reach. I encourage all of you to think about the things you'd like to accomplish while you are here at Daemen. Whether it be academic, social, global, or personal. Make a list and hold yourself accountable. There are endless amounts of opportunities at your feet. All you have to do is pick them up. The faculty and staff here are like family. They will be there to push you, guide you, and support you as you grow into your professional self. So thank you for coming today, and congratulations. I hope to see all of you on campus next year. I know you will all do great things and make Daemen, your families, but most importantly yourselves proud. Your time at Daemen starts now. Enjoy every second of it. I know I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. I hear that and I think to myself, wow, what did I do during my college years? That's amazing opportunities. So next, and not in this order, I want to introduce our counselors, and what they're going to do is present the recipients of the scholarship that you received. So to my right, your left, we have our assistant director, Kaylee Butler, Kayla Powell, our missions counselor, Michelle Curry, missions counselor, Taylor Cheney, missions counselor, and Jeannie Sullivan, admissions counselor. So we're going to have our Vice President of Academic Affairs and our Dean to assist us, and they're going to stand to my left. And as your name is called, for all of the students, we want to make sure that you come down to my right, your left, and get your certificate from the counselor, and then shake the hand of our Vice President and our Dean as well. So if we have Mike and Liz come up. And I'm going to turn it over to Kayla Powell.
Good morning. Mariana Abreu. Najmuddin Abstani. Brianna Bowden. Gianna Campbell. Joseph Castor. Haley Doherty. Samantha Goronsky. Julie Gibson. Diana Johnson. Isaiah Lee. Haley Loss. Paige Meidenbauer. Humberto Ortiz. Sung Hyun Park. Destiny Rodriguez. Shakira Saida. Robert Spearling. Daniel Spores. Ann Steinhauser. Talmadi Telemann. Nathan Walker. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations to the following students: Jerusha Arulunantham, Ashley Cornett, Nathan Damiani, Devin Delagormo, Sarah Dworzanski, Marielle Esparza, Alyssa Gennaro, Kendall Klosko, Alexis Klug, Ailish McDevitt, Kelsey Monkalban, Maximilian Moslow, Melissa Norek, Amber Ozowinski, Emma Rice, Mason Smith, Garrett Stevenson, Mason Storm, Andrew Vinchek, and Emily Wichter, sorry. Congratulations.
Ashley Bailey, Corinne Bivolchik, Alexis Breton, Gloria Burgess, Marissa Carroll, Lenora Chapman, Seamus Christie, Hope Dawson, Michaela Hilchey, Stephanie Hoy, Brianna Janes, Allison Miersma, Madison Seastrom, Hallie Wilkinson, Congratulations to you all.
Good morning. First name, Hannah Kipolani. Amber Culverwell. Kaylee Daniels, sorry. Alec Everett. Haley Ferguson. Emily Griffith. Samantha Hemian. Katie Johnson. Gabrielle Maybach. Sydney Newton. Michaela Rude. Katrina Santiago. And lastly, Catherine Watson. Congratulations, y'all.
Good morning. Ariel Bermudez Acito. Madison Bauer. Emily Darshan. Samuel Gala. Matthew Gregg. Emily Henderson. Michaela Kemp. Shannon Klein. Angelina Kolosik. Ryan Loretta. Maria Schnettler. Marissa Smith. Cassandra Visca. Samuel Warner. Congratulations.
Now, parents, let's all join together in congratulating our students. Like we said earlier, this is a day for you. We want to recognize you. This is also at times can be a stressful time for students. So I know many of you have already made your decisions. Some of you have not. Some parents may still have questions. So this is that time also that we provided to have a financial aid presentation after this. And for some of you that have not gone on a tour, we have tours ready for you as well. But as you have questions, please make sure you leave with more of your answers than you do with additional questions. What's next after this? We've come to the point that you've applied to different schools, you've been accepted at probably all of your schools, you're all very bright students, and now you're looking to see what's the next step. So if you decided today or throughout the course of the week that Daemen is your choice, the next step would be to confirm your seat by deposit. After that, what will happen, that will trigger our financial aid office, as well as our housing, as well as our academic side, to make sure we reserve that seat for you. You'll get housing information, you'll also get orientation information. So that's what triggers those next things for us. So if that's the case, definitely talk to us. You can talk to Jeff, you can raise his hand, our director of financial aid who's here. We want to make sure that's available for you. And after today, the next program we will have is our Accepted Student Day. Who's invited? Everyone. Everyone's invited to Accepted Student Day because you all are accepted. That's going to be on March 24th. It's a bit of a more a fun event. On that day, everyone that's there usually we have about a 80 or 90% yield that all the students that will be there will come. Actually, from this event, we have about 80% yield. So as students are looking at other students and talking to everyone, you know, more than likely, many of your classmates are going to be in this room here today. So we welcome you to come back for that, and we thank you again for coming. Congratulations to all of our students and our parents, because you were right there with them, helping them, pushing them, and sometimes being dragged along the way. So thank you, and have a great day.